Hello, everyone. You're about to hear a brief retelling of the movie Night Swim. Enjoy the movie. The movie begins in 1992 in the backyard of a house with a pool, where late one evening, a toy boat is floating. A girl notices it through the window and promises her sick brother that she will retrieve it. Sneaking past the departing housekeeper, she goes outside and sees the boat lying at the bottom of the pool. Trying to retrieve it with a net, she gets closer to the edge when an unknown force grabs the net, causing her to lose her balance. Underwater, she sees her mother calling for her, but when she resurfaces, she finds no one around, only the boat floating behind her. She swims to the middle of the pool, grabs the toy, but something pulls her down in full view of blurry dark figures in the distance. She resurfaces, calling for help, but in vain. The water engulfs her, leaving behind only a slipper. The story shifts to the present day. Former baseball player Ray Waller, suffering from Alzheimer's, is searching for a new home with his family to comfortably undergo treatment. A real estate agent shows them a sample house, praising the accessibility of good clinics, but Ray isn't impressed. Driving around the neighborhood after the viewing, Ray notices it's a typical American suburb with well-kept houses, green lawns, and children playing. He wants to stay here, feeling like an ordinary middle-class person. His gaze falls on another vacant house. The realtor shows the couple a building where nobody has lived for a long time, needing some minor repairs, but overall, they like the house.
Oh, good for you, good for you. Oh, it's never too late to follow your dream.
In the yard, there's a meticulously covered pool, something Ray had dreamt of since childhood. When his wife leaves, he reaches for a baseball in the water, but loses balance and falls in. Entangled in the cover, Ray envisions his return to the major leagues. After recovering, he climbs out as his frightened family rushes to him. Later, they visit the doctor who strongly advises him to forget about professional sports and focus on rehabilitative physiotherapy, walks, yoga, and swimming. Hinting to his wife on their way out, Ray suggests getting a house with a pool since swimming is recommended by the doctor.
What about that other house? The kids will love it, with all that room. And with the swimming pool, we'll have water therapy in our own backyard.
They decide on it and soon move in with their kids and cat. While Ray unpacks, his wife secures the railing on the stairs with a screwdriver for safety. Then the kids start at a new school. Izzy, the eldest daughter, meets a boy named Ronnie, who invites her to join the school swim team. During the day, the family is busy cleaning the pool, discussing training for their youngest son, Elliot's baseball. While cleaning, Ray injures his hand trying to clear a clogged drain, leading them to hire professionals for the job. A specially trained team arrives and discovers that the Wallers' pool draws water directly from a natural well. Soon, the work is done, and the family joyfully jumps in the water. While Ray focuses on his exercises, his wife tosses coins for the kids to dive after. Watching his happy family, Ray wonders if his illness might have brought some good. Having given up sports, he began to spend more time with his family. Sorting through old things in the garage, he finds a camcorder with recordings of him goofing around with the kids. Meanwhile, Ava studies his diagnosis while also listening to lectures for her upcoming job. Feeling tired, she decides to relieve tension with a nighttime swim. Relaxing in the water, she notices their nervous cat on the pool's edge, clearly uncomfortable with the water. Continuing to swim, Eva catches a glimpse of her husband approaching the shore, but the vision is fleeting. When she resurfaces, the figure is gone, but the pool light begins to flicker anxiously. Checking that everyone is in bed, she complains to her husband about the lighting malfunction. As they go to sleep, the light continues to flicker, only noticed by the lonely cat on the trampoline. In the morning, Elliot notices the cat's floating collar, as its body is nowhere to be found. Assuming the cat ran away, Ray retrieves the collar while the rest of the family searches the yard for the furry pet. Inside, Ray removes the bandages from his hand, finding the cut has already healed without a scar. Failing to find the cat, Elliot leaves some food cans on the doorstep. Later, Ray and his son install a tarp roller to cover the pool during bad weather and leaf fall. As they pull the fabric, Ava is seen diving into the pool, but it's just a scary dream. Waking up, she looks out the window and sees her husband enjoying a night team swim, swimming from edge to edge. When it's time for the next checkup, the doctor expresses genuine surprise. Ray's test results are phenomenal. In all her practice, she's never seen anyone recover so quickly. The spouses believe it's all due to the new diet and physical exercises. They engage in water activities twice a day. Ray continues to actively swim and exercise. He even re-records the family video to send the team manager a physical fitness report. His son asks him to swim together, but Ray needs to lift weights. He allows the boy to swim alone. Elliot ties painted coins to a toy and bathes with it, unaware of the shadow looming over the jar of steel weights. Sitting underwater, the boy sees someone toss a coin, thinking it's his father. He dives for the glasses, then collects the weights tossed by someone. From the bottom, he sees a silhouette on the edge, which disappears when he resurfaces, thinking it's his sister playing tricks. Elliot continues swimming, but soon notices a suspicious shadow over the trampoline. Grabbing a board, he rises up, finding nobody there. Suddenly, he hears a girl's voice coming from a sewer hole.
I need help.
She introduces herself as Rebecca and wants to retrieve her toy. Elliot sees a scary creature with long hair. Frightened, he complains to his mother, but she sees no one. Discussing the incident with her husband, they conclude it was just a rich fantasy episode. Elliot used to talk to imaginary friends before. The conversation ends with a suggestion to organize a party to meet the new neighbors. The family heads to Elliot's baseball practice. Ray, as a former pro, gives advice to the players while the coach throws balls. His son is nervous, but gains confidence after hitting the first pitch. At the end, the coach suggests Ray show his skills, and after some thought, he agrees. However, he misses twice and even falls, unable to keep his balance. On his third swing, he recalls the relaxing sensation of the pool water. He hits the ball, sending it beyond the field and into the floodlights. Upon returning home, he snacks, while Ava watches him suspiciously from the window. One evening, the parents go out for dinner, leaving the children alone. Seizing the opportunity, Izzy invites Ronan to swim in their swimsuits. They play Marco Polo, a variation of hide and seek. When it's Izzy's turn to be it, Ronan cheats by sneaking out of the pool. Nevertheless, Izzy tags him, responding to a voice that she thinks is Ronan's, speaking of a scary creature. She dives after him, but comes face to face with a horrifying apparition and a spatial anomaly. The pool turns out to be much deeper than it seems. Panicked, she resurfaces. Ronan doesn't understand what happened. According to him, Izzy just dove for a couple of seconds. The parents return earlier than expected, forcing Ronan to leave quickly. On the day of the party, Elliot blackmails his sister, threatening to tell their parents about her bringing Ronan over. He wants to know what scared her in the pool, but Izzy insists she won't tell their parents anything. As the guests gather, the boy sets up a camera by the window to capture anything suspicious. The guests have fun, swimming, sunbathing, and socializing. Izzy chats with her new friends about her relationship with Ronan, who doesn't understand why they laugh when he appears. Eva, cutting watermelon, learns from the realtor that 30 years ago, a little girl named Rebecca, the daughter of the previous owners, drowned here. Meanwhile, Ray meets a boy from the baseball practice who found the hit ball and asks Ray to sign it as a souvenir. Impressed by the child's admiration, Ray invites him to join the game of King of the Hill in the pool where the others are having fun. The prolonged standoff leads to Ray retreating into the depths, submerging himself in the water. But when the boy tosses his opponent into the pool, Ray still doesn't resurface. Instead, black ooze emerges from the drain, creeping into Ray's mouth. He freezes underwater, gripping the boy's legs, sitting on his neck, and dragging him deeper. Elliot sees from the window as they both go under and rushes downstairs to alert the adults. The men dive into the pool, pulling out the unconscious Ray and the boy, who has bruises on his legs from Ray's grip. The party ends with the arrival of the police. The boy's parents agree not to file a police report, attributing everything to Ray's illness, but demand that he no longer attend practices or be near the children. Ava, emotionally charged, suggests leaving the house far away from the cursed pool. As they drive off, Ray suffers a seizure. His wife is forced to return home to put him to bed, but instead of resting, he asks to be taken to the pool. Upon refusal, he smiles and says strange things. "It's so cold in the depths."
It's so cool in the deep water. It's so cool in the deep.
Eva decides to drain the pool and throws in the pump. The next day, she Googles information about the previous owners, but learns much more than she bargained for. It turns out that many people have died or disappeared under strange circumstances in this house over the past 100 years or so. Upon learning the address of the previous owners, she decides to visit them. The doors opened by an elderly Asian woman. Inviting the guest inside, she talks about her wonderful and successful son. When asked about the house with the pool and the drowned girl, the woman replies that she never had a daughter, only a son. Eva shares her concerns about the pool's negative influence on her husband. Coughing, her interlocutor wipes the black ooze oozing from her eyes and recalls an ancient legend about a miraculous spring capable of granting cherished wishes. But in return, it demands a human life. That's exactly what happened to Rebecca. She became the currency for her son's health, and the mother was well aware of what she was doing. Ava asks how to prevent the dreadful curse, but the woman is seized by a fit of cogging. When she turns around, black ooze streams from her eyes. Smiling, the old woman says that it will all be over soon. The source will take what it's owed. In panic, the guest flees, trying to call home along the way. She doesn't know that the ooze has emerged from the drain and captured her husband's mind. Returning home in the evening, Elliot sees the water in the glass vibrating. He steps into the yard, hoping to find the cat, unaware that the glass is moving on the table. Hearing a squeak, the boy sneaks to the inflatable ring on the trampoline, thinking the cat is on it. Instead, the malevolent spirit drags him underwater, while an unseen force spins the reel handle. Izzy notices her brother falling and rushes to help with the winch, while the mother, arriving just in time, orders to call the father and dives into the pool herself. However, there's no sign of her son, only the descent into the unknown depth. Tying herself with the hose, the woman repeats the dive, using the hose as a breathing tube. She finds Elliot unconscious and pulls him up. They are attacked by the spirits of the deceased, but it doesn't stop the woman from continuing their journey. But the surface is nowhere in sight. Eva becomes disoriented, trying to figure out which way to swim. When the little girl, Rebecca, appears, she opens Elliot's palm with the coin and it shows the right direction. The camera flips, showing how fogged the woman's mind is, confusing top and bottom. Seeing the light, Eva and her son swim to the surface. Meanwhile, Izzy, with a broken glass, searches for her father. Appearing with her face covered in ooze, Ray hits his daughter to prevent her from calling for help. The girl tries to escape, pulling out a clump of hair in the process, which her father grabs onto. Hiding in the garage, she watches as he steps outside, grabbing a bat, and Izzy follows. Ray grabs his wife, who's trying to resuscitate Elliot. Izzy attacks from behind, hitting her father with the bat on his injured leg and arms. Taken by surprise, he spits out the black ooze. His wife pleads with Ray to snap out of it, and recalling the best moments of his life, he spits out the rest of the ooze. At that moment, Elliot regains consciousness, realizing it's time to leave. The family heads for the exit, but Ray sees a black cloud forming in the pool. Elliot worsens. Ray realizes the pool needs a sacrifice, and turning around, he descends the steps into the water, instructing the family not to watch, then plunges headfirst into the darkness. Elliot starts feeling better, but right after that, the black liquid disappears along with Ray's body, leaving only clear water. The next day, Elliot watches one of his father's video recordings. Eva inspects the empty pool, then passes a smiley face coin to her son. The surviving Wallers stand at the edge of the empty pool. The mother suggests they could just sell the house and leave, but the son objects, saying that would just repeat the story with someone else. The perspective changes. An excavator scoops over the pool, burying it like a grave. And that's the end of the movie.